Hello, welcome. On this video, we're going to speak about the shortcomings and the features that we would like for the next group to take the project. The first shortcoming that we had was we see here I'm using an emulator for Android. This is the emulator that we're using, and we see here this is if we see here this is a Pixel 3a phone. So this is an Android, then this is the one that we're using to test the project. One of the shortcomings is what we see here, it's different on what we see on an iPhone. We want to have the app available for both Android and iOS, but here on the iPhone, we see a header when we use our iPhones to test the project, but here we don't see one on the Android emulator. And also when we go to search on the iPhone, the search has just the font. It has no a box, but we find one here on the Android emulator. So I think the first shortcoming will be the difference between what we see on the iPhone and what we see here on an Android emulator. We try to get the same font style, but there were some things on the style of the general of the app that we couldn't make the same for both of them. So I think that will be the first shortcoming. The second one will be here is the file that we use when we start working on the project. We use this file as data. We will get everything from here, all the data. And we're still using this file to get the subcategories and the categories. But the idea was to use this file also for all the information on the subcategories. But we decided to move this information to a database. So the database that we used was Firebase. Here we have the Cloud Firestore, and as we see here, we have the data, and these are the IDs of each subcategory, so that we can see here the information for each one of them. One of the problems or the shortcomings that we had is that when we want to replace this, the value here or what we want to see on the app, this space is too little, and you cannot add a lot of information here, because when you want to add, let's say, a new line right here and you click enter, it doesn't let you do it. It will just update it. So what we had to do, let's go back to the code. As you see here, this is a lot of information, and it was too hard to add it one by one on the space that we saw for Firebase. So what we had to do, it's we had to create a method, and this is a file where I just put the method for the next group maybe to understand. It's all commented because it's of not use for the project, for the running project. So let me just click here, and this method we use it on the login page. So we replace on press when you log in. To add information to the app, we created this method. So when the people add in the information, they can just replace this method on the login, and when they click login, this method is gonna run and it's gonna add to the application all the information that is here. So basically, this is how we enter the information on the database, which, as you see, is a little bit tedious because you have to add a new line so that you can see it on the Firebase on the content page. So that's how we added the information that we had available. Um, but that's a shortcoming because it takes a lot of time just to add the information um, that it was provided. So again, here is in the like this file is in the project, and just a way on how to add the information, which maybe for later groups they can find a way to just add it to Firebase without doing all of this. So that's the second shortcoming. Something that we would like to implement, or that other group that takes the project will implement on the future, will be on the chat room. It will be ideal to have, when the person log in, it will be good to have a login verification. It can be like an email or something like that. Also, an option here that says forgot password. That would be a cool feature to have in the future. And when the person is using the chat room, for two people to chat with each other one to one, that will be also a good feature to add on the future. But the app is running well. The search, the chat room, all the information is running good. Is running good. Um, Here it will be ideal also for the information when it's displayed for the evaluation to be just like a link, and the person when clicks the link it will show the evaluation, and not for it to show all of it at the same time. So that will be ideal as well. So this is the pediatric emergency app, and we hope you enjoy it.